everyone, welcome to the Movie Section Show. My name is Fariba, and today is a very special night because we are doing a series episode reaction for Secret Invasion. Tonight we're about to see the debut episode for the new Disney Plus series from Marvel Studios. And yeah, it's been quite some time since we've actually gotten any episode coming from Marvel Studios. I think the last time we've watched anything from Disney Plus, at least from Marvel, I believe it was She-Hulk. And as you all know how I felt about that whole series, because it wasn't the greatest. But yeah, no, I'm still very intrigued about going into Secret Invasion. I think that unlike She-Hulk, this one definitely has a bit more of a promising sign as to what it could mean, what it could imply about the more, at least for the multiverse saga. And it's definitely gonna be a different feel to it. Like, for one thing, like, for the first time, we're actually gonna see Nick Fury take the lead in his own sort of project. So in this case, it'll be Secret Invasion, which makes a lot of sense because, of course, what's happening, what's really unfolding here in terms of Secret Invasion is going to be the Skrulls, hence the name Secret Invasion. And if you know about the Skrulls invasion, that's like what I believe that's what the inspiration is behind this whole series. But yeah, we already know that, Nick Fury has a really deep connection to the Skrulls. We saw that back in Captain Marvel. We got the hint of that in Far From Home. And now we're definitely starting to see the depths of their relationship in this series. At least coming from the trailers, we really got this essence of, the fact that it's going to be very, very heavy in terms of the political aspect, the espionage, the subterfuge. A lot of those aspects we're getting out of this whole series. So it's definitely going to be a different feel in terms of anything that we've ever gotten from Marvel Studios. Just because, again, it definitely had a bit more of that essence of a political thriller, which honestly I have no problems about. I love political thrillers in general. I think it's one of the reasons why I actually love The Winter Soldier, because that essence of the political thriller, elements really elevated the storytelling for that film. And if we're going to get kind of a similar vibe with Secret Invasion, or in a way that's even far more of a traditional political thriller, I will even say that I think this is a very promising series to watch. It's one of the reasons why I thought that having seen the trailers for it seemed like it had a lot of potential. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Secret Invasions for sure. Again, we're getting the debut episode tonight. But yeah, before even going into it, of course, like, even though there is so much potential for this series, and I can't wait to see what this could imply, not just for the multiverse saga, but how it's going to tie into the Marvels, because I feel like that's basically what it's going to lead up to. But even that being the case, of course, we've gotten a couple of first reactions for the series, and it's been a bit more in the mixed side. So I believe right now on Rotten Tomatoes, at least from when I last checked, it has like a 66%. So it isn't the strongest, it's not the most positive, or let alone the most positive reception that I'm seeing out of this series, which is really weird. Again, this is like, 66% is like in the level that Thor: The Dark World and Incredible Hulk has. I think they have a kind of a similar score too. So that does make it a bit worrying about how I'm gonna feel about going to this series. I didn't really get to the details of why some people didn't like it. I wonder if it's because it feels so different from being a Marvel, superhero content, or it might have to do with something else. I don't know, but even that being the case, I'm still gonna give this whole series a chance. I'm going to watch it from the beginning to end regardless. But yeah, again, I have a lot of expectations going into it. I do have a lot of questions. There are definitely things I'm going to be keeping an eye on, of course. So, for one thing, again, keep an eye on the Skrulls, what their actions going to be, what the decisions that they're going to make, how that's going to impact the rest of the multiverse saga, because that's going to be a big deal about it. Of course, we're going to have a much more deeper dive into Nick Fury. I'm going to imagine that we're going to have a bit more of his story kind of being foretold on the series, giving his perspective of what's going on, no longer becoming this very quiet someone who's been a closed book. I'm imagining that we're going to see a bit more of who he is beyond just, this guy that we know who used to be the director for shield, or someone who was the founder of the Avengers, right? Like, we get to see a much more we get to see at least a bit more of the personal side of Nick Fury. Hopefully that's what I think we're gonna get. And of course, like, this is a show again that is very packed with some really big actors. I mean, it's not just, Samuel L. Jackson, Kobe Smolder, Ben Mendelsohn. We also have Olivia Colman and Emilia Clarke, both joining the cast and playing a part in this series. I mean, I can't wait to see how the show goes. But yeah, I think without further ado, let's get right down into the first episode of Secret Invasion. Okay, so yeah, we know that he's a fugitive right now. This is going to be the interesting part, for sure.
Imagine a world where information we thought they were. What if the ones closest to us, the ones we've trusted our whole lives, were someone else entirely?
Okay, yeah, we know where this
What if they weren't even human? Not people. Skrulls.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, come on, Ross.
Now he's got to learn who they are.
This didn't start yesterday. It started 30 years.
Now they don't want just any planet. They want ours.
Look, can't you see it? All these groups, they're the same.
Skrulls could be anybody, anywhere, at any time.
And there is only a tiny handful known to live on Earth. That's barely enough to...
To what? You don't know or know.
Yeah, they've been pretty much everywhere.
Okay, Prescott, let's play a little game of forest for the trees.
Anymore, other than you.
Hey, Prescott, look, I'm here to help, okay? So let me take this, and I'll give the information
He's getting confused if he's even...
to Fury, okay?
Is he even the real one? No? Interesting. Oh my jeez. Is it the real Everett? Is it? Even I'm questioning things. Okay, not gonna lie, that's kind of pretty cool. Oh! That's gonna hurt.
Ross! Show me your hands! Rukia! Talos!
It's me.
What the hell are you doing here?
I'm chasing him.
I'm assuming that's not Ross. Yeah, okay.
Here's what his...
So it seems Fury has been going space traveling. Oh wow, he's without a patch.
Helping you for all these years to ensure that you kept your promise. But after the blip, you were different.
Oh, blip.
You
What interesting.
Carol Danvers disappeared. And so did Gaia.
Oh, your daughter disappeared to where?
She was young. Angry that our people still don't have a home. Many of them were upset. I got kicked off the council, pushed into exile, but Gravik, mate, he took your abandonment that much harder. Cool.
Interesting.
Gravik is now...
If he succeeds, your species will cease to exist.
Defense system in the history of mankind. Can't just leave.
No, I agree.
And unfortunately, we also intercepted an encrypted message from Agent Hill to Agent Fury. We haven't been able to decode it yet, but we know they're old friends. Given the fact that I could reach neither Agent Hill or Agent Fury, they're effectively AWOL.
Oh god. Oh my god. Those are quite some measures.
So exciting. Let's see. Large black man, Moscow. Well, it could either be Nick Fury or the ghost of Paul Robeson. Okay, go ahead. Take the hood off. Ah, damn, and I was hoping for a command performance of Old Man River.
Good to see you too, Sonia. So, did you just have me extraordinarily renditioned by a group of your thugs?
Were you not extraordinary? Oh, you should only scratch the surface of mediocrity. You must be finally putting it all together. Well done.
Oh man, I love
You
Olivia.
can go. That'll do. I welcomed you home, but I still haven't forgiven you for destroying my very expensive flat.
You mean city?
So it's bottom shelf piss for you or nothing at all.
Throw it.
Oh, they're talking about Far From Home.
So what are you doing in Moscow?
Same as you. Trying. You know, I may not know when a Skrull is pretending to be a human, but I sure as hell know when a human is lying. You know damn well what was in that storage file.
The fact that you don't know tells me all I need to know about this new, rather old Nick Fury.
Oh, dang.
I think Thanos' snap changed you. Taught you that no matter how hard you fight for what's right, there's always someone stronger to undermine you.
Dang.
You seem to forget this old Nick Fury has...
As a friend, Fury. But go back to your space station. You're in no shape for this fight that lies before us. I'll have one of my thugs drop you back at the safe house.
No, that's all right. I'll walk.
Ah, Emilia Clarke. That's Talos' daughter.
Welcome to New Skrullos.
New Skrullos. Okay. What? Now that is some scary shit.
And she goes into hunting mode.
I'm considered good looking amongst my kind.
You know, I know a bunch of good looking Skrulls. You ain't one of them.
Okay, all right, guys, what is the play here?
I say we visit this rusty bomb builder.
Sonia will...
That's a lot of sugar. Oh my god.
Not even 40 in human years. Haven't even gone on my midlife crisis shopping spree yet. Hey, what you get for yours?
The Avengers.
Hey.
Family with a soccer player.
Oh, so
Dang.
we're gonna go ahead and call that a lie. Everybody gets one. Nobody.
Your name's not Keller.
Skrull. Name is Thanos.
Dang. Oh yeah, she's gonna be outpowered by a Skrull. Awkward. What a father-daughter relationship.
Give me the bombs.
No.
I know you're angry. This isn't you. This is not what your mother would have wanted.
Mum doesn't know what she
The
wants.
reunion.
Her last words? Fine, Gaia. She's dead.
Oh, she doesn't know? Oh.
How?
Why did you ask? The people that you work for. What is it? Just get.
How do you think we kept the Cold War from going hot?
Oh.
Spooks like me. Bad job.
Puns.
You can't say that.
No, you can't say that.
Oh, we're going back. Oh no, we're going back. Oh my god, I remember that. It was the Infinity War post-credit scene.
Your mother died while you were working for her killer. So do not take me down that road, Gaia. You have one chance to save yourself. And I think you know that. I think that's why you're here.
We missed the pass.
Dang. I wonder if this was all a ploy, though. Interesting. She's sketchy. Hell no. That is, oh man, nah. The heck? That's graphic.
It's empty. Our decoys.
I knew it! Well, they brutally failed. Scroll. It's a scroll. What? No way. No way. So that was the first episode of Secret Invasion, and wow, there's a lot of things to kind of pinpoint here. So yeah, let's go right down into just the ending itself, just because that was very unexpected. I did not think we're going to see the death of Maria Hill. That was something I never would have thought that was going to happen, because I mean, for one thing, like, we've always seen Nick Fury and Maria always together. Like, you know, Maria has always kind of been his second-hand command, or basically his right-hand man. Like, and it's like, that was very unexpected just to see her death right here. Like, I did not expect that to be the case, but I guess that's going to be kind of the thing that's going to trigger him to really go off against, you know, Gravik. So, and not just that, but I have to say, like, I mean, they really set up just how menacing Gravik is as a antagonist. So, like, showing the extent that he will go through to really, you know, undertake these terrorist acts just for his own, you know, radical pursuits. So, yeah, I mean, that is something that, you know, this episode has really kind of set up. So, kind of just reversing back a little bit, like, I will say for this, like, it is clearly, like, I mean, just from this first episode, right? It's clear that this show is going to be quite a slow burn. It's not as fast paced as other, you know, Marvel content that we've seen before, let alone like in the superhero genre. Because I mean, when we think about the superhero genre, we typically think of them as far more fast paced, action packed. You know, most like, you know, there are going to be some dialogues, but it's not very, you know, as extensive as in a way that we would see like here. Like the discussion and the dialogue here are very, very, you know, sophisticated and grounded, trying to set up the details of what's going on. Like right from the start of this episode, like, you can tell, like, you know, a lot of what they're trying to do is setting up the premise, setting up, you know, the exposition of what's going to kind of, you know, set the stage for will become the rest of this whole series, right? And therefore, and of course, like just from here, we know for a fact that we are dealing with a, you know, a radical fraction from the Skrulls, and for them, they want to basically, you know, invade the entirety of Earth for their own, you know, motives, for their own gain, which means having to wipe out humans. And yeah, I mean, we've gotten the gist of that as the story. And yeah, I mean, it is definitely slow burn. Like, I mean, for one thing, I will say, like, you can definitely get the essence of the espionage, the spyware, things that we've, again, giving us the hint of the political thrillers that we've seen before, and, you know, making it ingrained in part of sort of the DNA of this whole series. So, and not just that, I mean, it does a pretty good job of setting up that, you know, that atmosphere, that tone for it. I will say for one thing, like, it does take a while just to kind of get the gist of it all, just to kind of get your attention, because it is quite a slow burn. So it's something that I'm going to have to kind of adjust myself a little bit just going into the series. Like, I mean, it's not like as if, you know, we weren't already, you know, aware of this. Like, I mean, this is something that, you know, the trailers kind of hinted at, that this is going to be a much more of a slower series than we typically would get from like Marvel content, let alone superhero, you know, projects. But that being the case, like, I think for the most part, it does a pretty good job of setting up and giving us the details of what, you know, what's going on, the exposition, the premise, allowing us to know, you know, who are the team, like who the teams are. So for one thing, we have, you know, Nick Fury, Maria, Talos, who are trying to keep this peace, you know, within, that's not just happening on Earth, but universe, but also we're dealing with this fraction, this radical fraction that is controlled under Gravik, and, you know, he's gonna go through very, you know, extreme measures just to reach his goals, again, just to wipe out humans for the sake of, you know, populating the Skrulls on Earth, because this is basically now, you know, became their permanent home, right? So we'll see how it all goes. I think one of the things that I definitely have questions about, of course, is Captain Marvel's involvement, so Carol Danvers, because we know that, you know, back when the movie, you know, came out, that's, you know, how they introduced the Skrulls. That's how we got to know about them. That's where they had at least set up their goal to at least help the Skrulls to relocate, to find a new home for them, having, you know, known that, you know, they've lost their previous home, trying to, you know, repopulate their population, knowing that, you know, there's only such a few of them, and now they have no other choice but to remain here and, you know, take extreme measures. So we'll see how it all goes. I wonder where she's at, of course. Like, I mean, it seems as if something is definitely bugging, you know, Nick Fury. Like, so it does seem as if you know, it was his real version that had perished during the snap. So there was there was definitely a lot of confusion right there, just because we had seen the Skrull Nick, and then, you know, we also know the real Nick, and it's like, okay, who was the one that perished? So now we kind of know who definitely did perish. So it does seem as if that is him, the real him that did perish from the snap. So definitely a lot of things going on there. Like, again, I wonder what is bothering him. What is his relationship with Carol as of this point? And as we know, like back in, what was it, Endgame, we knew that from that, at least at that point, we knew that Carol was dealing with a lot of things in a galactic scale. Like, she wasn't just helping with, you know, at least I don't know how her relationship is with the Skrulls, of course, so that's definitely gonna be one of the questions. But for one thing we do remember is she was at least trying to help out with, you know, multiple different planets, multiple different galaxies with their own situations, where, you know, they were also facing the consequences, the impact from the snap. So definitely like questions going into that. Of course, like anything that's happening here is going to have an impact on the Marvels when that comes out in November. So everything that we're seeing here is definitely going to have a connection right there. So I wonder what that's going to mean again moving forward. Again, we'll see how this dynamic goes between Talos and Nick, and then not just that, but it does seem as if there's going to be that subplot where we're going to see Talos and his daughter and how their dynamic's going to evolve from there. Because again, like, I mean, just to see his daughter, go to a, more of a very radical fraction just to meet their goals and, forget about their alliance with the humans. It's like a really big deal, of course. And that's probably going to be one of the big things going to the series is seeing their dynamic and how, how the relationship's going to change as, the events, advance. I mean, as each event progresses, right? So definitely a lot of questions going into it. Again, very slow burn. I mean, I would say this is a pretty decent start to the series because again, it is just the first episode. Like, I think we had to go through at least a couple more episodes to really kind of give an overall feel as to how I think about the show. But yeah, I think right now it's a pretty good start. I mean, nothing too big, but definitely a very bold move at the end. I think that's definitely a pretty big, shocking move right there, just to kill off Maria Hill like this soon. Especially just kill her off in general, like that is something that's very ballsy. So I wonder what that's going to mean going forward. Of course, again, this is probably going to really motivate and enrage Nick Fury to continue on his mission on Earth and trying to stop Gravik now that is his arch nemesis. Well, at least in this case, at least his enemy going forward. So yeah, I think that's all I really have to say about it. I think it's a pretty decent start. Yes, it's a slow burn, but I think it meets what it's supposed to do. It does what it's supposed to be delivering. I mean, again, it's definitely a very different Marvel series, but the fact that it is a bit more subtle with what it's trying to showcase on the big screen. And again, we'll see how it all goes as we get into each of the episodes moving forward. I mean, it's going to be quite a journey. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of the story unfolds. So I think that's all to say about Secret Invasion Episode 1. What are your thoughts about Episode 1 right here? Do you like the whole gist of it? Do you not like it? What do you think about the pacing of the series? Is it way too slow for you? Or do you think this is a really refreshing way to kind of change up kind of how we've been dealing with the Marvel universe, especially in terms of the multiverse saga? What do you think about the series so far? The fact that we're getting a bit of these details about the Skrull fractions, Talos, Nick returning to Earth. What do you think about the fact that Maria Hill has died? Like, did that really shock you, or do you think she might come back? Who knows? Definitely have a lot. Anything could still happen because I mean, again, it is kind of the superhero genre. What are your other thoughts about what may or may not happen? Do you have any theories already about what could happen going into the series before we get to the end of it? And let me know if you have any other analysis or any other thoughts about the show. Let me know in the comments down below and make sure to like and subscribe.